Hello, everybody. So we're going to be doing a presentation of the mentally ill of Riverside, California. This presentation and project was conducted by Melissa, Alyssa, Elizabeth, and myself, Anna. So just to kind of go into the statistics a little bit, Riverside has a predominantly white population. Most of the minorities are homeless, elderly, and ethnic racial. Almost about 1,000 of the residents in Riverside are enrolled in Medi-Cal. Women are more likely than men to seek out help for mental health. Individuals 65 and older were more than likely to receive mental health help. About 310 suicides reported every year alone. Currently, the ages of 45 to 64, 21.9%. That's about like the numbers of the people who live there. And then 8.6% who are 65 and older do live in that area. The neglected areas are East Side and Casablanca. So the morbidity and mortality rates do include heart disease, cancer, stroke, COPD. More morbidity rates include heart issues, cerebral issues, lung and airway issues. And most of the diseases occur from poor diet, physical inactivity, alcohol abuse, and tobacco abuse. 46.1% of individuals in California alone reported symptoms of anxiety and depression. And in California during the pandemic of COVID-19, 35% of individuals did not receive any help for mental health.
Okay, so the social determinants of mental health we were able to see within the Riverside community was there was a lack of healthcare accessibility and quality. There was economic instability. There was social and community dynamics. There was gaps within education and the environment. It was lots of abandoned buildings, inadequate sanitation, trash disposal, and lots of housing issue contributing to homelessness.
The attention grabber included families that have had to deal with someone who has committed suicide, friends and families around them. They may not seek help themselves after because they have shame or self-blame regarding the person's death. They're actually at higher risk for having mental disorders themselves. Suicide ideation is increased as well. They can suffer from substance abuse, PTSD. For family members who have not dealt with someone who has committed suicide but are dealing with someone who has mental illness, they also need attention as well. They can suffer things such as increased rate of divorce, food insecurity, poor job or school performance, and just the stress surrounding the care of that person. So it's more than just even dealing with the actual person maybe who has mental illness, but the family and friends surrounding them. So it's very important to address that as well.
So the population we intended to reach was a specific community Facebook group of individuals dealing with mental health stressors such as depression, stress, anxiety. This community is frequently active. They have polls, Q&As, and use the Facebook group as an outlet to help each other.
So the resources that we were able to provide for our community included the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, the Crisis Text Line, the National Institute of Mental Health, the Riverside County CARES Line, and the Riverside County Department of Mental Health, and then the brochure to the right. So this handout presents valuable information on the overall effects of mental illnesses. It is an essential for those who struggle with mental illness to recognize the signs and symptoms, as well as when to seek medical care. So this brochure just provides valuable resources. And then also Anna included the BetterHelp online support system matched with 24 hours. And then this cerebral medication delivered at home or at the pharmacy monthly check-ins.
And then one of the community meetings that we attended, this is the one that I attended, A Shot of Faith, which has to deal with questions and concerns regarding COVID vaccines. So this does pertain to our vulnerable population as well, if they are vaccine hesitant as well. Some of the things they can have, they already have comorbidity, so the likelihood of hospitalization is increased, as well as if they want to go into rehab. Most rehab programs require that they be fully vaccinated before they are allowed to enter the program. And then our SWOT analysis included things that was very helpful. One of the strengths was since we did it online, we could address a large audience, as well as some of the weaknesses were things like if we were to have technical difficulties, things like that, because it is online. So it was a strength and a weakness, and it did help us prepare better. One of the things that we decided as a group was to pre-record our presentation instead of doing it live, due to the possibility of maybe having some technical difficulties. So our SWOT analysis was very helpful.
Okay, so did it go according to plan? So although it was online, my group and I believe that it did go according to plan as well as it could have. One thing we did talk about was how we did wish it was in person. However, it was fine online. The thing with online is that an advantage, since the video could be shared around and distributed to help those who might need a resource. You know, it's obviously better to have it shared around and, you know, to have the population on the Facebook groups be able to seek out the resources that were included. The only troubles we were having were the mild technical difficulties. We did have about 40 viewers, which was a much bigger audience than we had anticipated. And then we had also talked about the technical difficulties afterwards as well. But overall, we did include the PowerPoint. We included the post-presentation brochure that anybody can fill out to rate how our presentation went. And overall, we thought it went pretty well.
Okay, so what was the topic of our teaching? So our teaching on mental health was centered specifically to the online Facebook group that is suffering from mental health issues. Our focus point within the teaching included prevention methods, ACE scoring, therapeutic communication, resources, and coping strategies. Before we began our teaching, we conducted pre-assessment and pre-tests that included a variety of questions that were gauging the understanding of the individual's mental health and resources they had. And then the community letters that we wrote, there was 2 of them. I wrote one, Alyssa wrote another one. Mine was for Mayor Locke Dawson of Riverside, and it was focused on addressing the needs of the mentally ill in terms of their housing crises. And Alyssa's was.
And then, so my letter was focused on taking action to implement shelters. I believe that it's critical to focus on our vulnerable communities who struggle with mental health, especially adolescents who are growing up in that specific environment, because that can impact a child's future health and functioning, as well as growth and development. And then for this presentation, we focus on individuals who struggle with mental illnesses within the Riverside community. Throughout the presentation, we gave an overview of the barriers and challenges that can negatively affect the mental health of individuals, and we provided valuable resources for those who are facing mental illness. The population that we targeted is specific community Facebook group of individuals who are dealing with depression, stress, anxiety, and other mental illnesses. We wanted to educate and inform those who struggle with mental illness throughout specific communities about the symptoms of mental illnesses, why it's important to treat, and various therapies and resources available. I hope that this presentation has guided and informed individuals that it is okay to seek help from others. Thank you.
Thank you.